says when you touch the lives of unknowns, you become a champion, and that there is a champion in each one of us. It's just a matter of finding it. He has touched 1 million and more lives by winning the IPL trophy for Kolkata Knight Riders for a second time. Skipper Gautam Gambhir, many congratulations to you for that fabulous feat. Has it sunk in? It's been 5 days now.
Well, absolutely. I think I'm not surprised what we've done, but yeah, I'm very much relieved as well, because a lot of people asked me that were you surprised the kind of performance Calcutta KKR has given in last 9 matches, and I said that I'm not surprised, but I'm relieved, because especially after the first half of the tournament, where we were only 2 wins out of first 7 games, and we were supposed to win 6 out of 7 to actually qualify for the playoffs, and we ended up winning 9. Because I knew that there was a lot of strong individuals and strong characters in the dressing room who wanted to turn it around really desperately, and this is what a sign of a good team is all about. When you try and turn it around like this, and when you start playing to your potential, I think I had a very strong belief that we will turn it around.
Gautam, before we talk about cricket and how the trophy was won, let's talk a little bit about the celebrations. What happened moments after you won? Can you talk us through the celebrations? What exactly happened in the dressing room?
Look, honestly, I was still keeping my emotions, because first time around when we won in 2012, I think I was far more happier than, I don't want to compare 2 wins, but maybe I was far more relieved that time. But there were some guys who have never won the IPL, someone like a Manish Pandey who's never played an IPL final, Robin Uthappa, Piyush Chawla, these guys have never played the IPL final, and being part of the first IPL final and winning it as well. So I think I can imagine there must be a lot of celebration. There were a lot of celebrations.
So you led them to the fore.
Absolutely, and I believe in that completely as well. I let them do, that is what a good leader and a good, I think, structure is all about, where you can let people go whatever they want to do, express themselves, not only on the field but off the field as well, try and enjoy, because they've gone through a lot of hardship as well. They've seen a lot of lows in the first 7 games as well, so they deserve every bit of it as well.
And what about when you came back to the hotel? I heard that Mr. Khan had a special party for you, and I read in your column that you received a few proposals from a few prospective mom-in-laws.
Look, I'm not someone like a party freak, because I don't enjoy that much, but it is also always important as well to spend a lot of time with your teammates as well. That was the reason I went down as well, and important to spend time with Shah Rukh as well. But I think I'm still very low profile, still keep it to myself. But yeah, it is always fun watching your teammates enjoy themselves, because it makes you relieved as well and makes you happy as well.
And then somewhat of an over-the-top celebration in Kolkata, and we saw many fans getting injured out there. As a captain, do you really have to?
I don't call for all that, to be honest, because we've done it once in 2012. There was no point doing it again, and I'm a very strong believer that I think fans are something which we have maximum support of, and I think we've been very fortunate that we've got the biggest fan base in India, and maybe when it comes to IPL as well. So and I've always believed that we play to make our fans happy, and whenever we've walked onto the field, we've tried to make our fans very happy and try and get the smiles on their faces. But something like this happening out of Eden, especially after winning the IPL, is not called for. So maybe next time around we need to be careful about these kind of celebrations. Okay,
well, before the celebrations there was some fantastic cricket. At what point, Gautam, did you really think that there can be a turnaround? You mentioned that you lost 5 matches in the beginning, and then 9 matches you won in a row. So was there a magic moment really?
Look, I think a lot of people asked me when we couldn't chase against Rajasthan Royals in Ahmedabad, we lost 6 wickets on 1 run, which was, I think, was a freak. And I still remember losing my cool, saying that I've never seen that kind of a cricket where a team is 122 for no loss and suddenly 123 for 6. And we lost that game, which we should have won. And a lot of people asked me after that we should stop chasing. I think the kind of bowling attack we have, I think we should try and put runs on the board and then try and defend that. And I still remember winning a toss in Delhi and still ended up chasing, because I thought a lot of teams were considering us as chokers, that we cannot chase anything. So to be a champion side, to be a champion, you can't have any tag on your head. So that was my personal decision, first of all, to try and chase anything, because I wanted
breaking stereotypes.
At the same time, try and get rid of that tag called chokers, because as I said, being a champion, you can't have any tag on your head. And then I think the turning moment of this tournament was Yusuf's knock. I think first of all,
against Sunrisers.
Absolutely, because first of all, it made us finish at number 2, which gave us 2 cracks at the final, and second, it got a lot of belief in the group that we can chase anything down. Before that, we were chasing totals, but we were not chasing totals like 200 and 180, and suddenly chasing 118, 15 overs. Everyone started believing that we can chase anything down, and that belief, we took it in the finals as well. A lot of people asked me that how about chasing 200 in the final? Somehow I felt that there was a lot of calmness because we have chased 180 in 15.3 overs, so we knew that if we played to our potential, we would definitely be able to chase that 200 down. So I think the turning point of the tournament was Yusuf's knock, because it not only gave us second position, but it gave us a lot of belief as well that we can chase any total on a given day.
Gautam, talking about your chase, the one that happened in the final, it's a record of sorts, because the first time in a T20 final that a team has chased down 200. How did you do your maths? Was it that you broke down targets like 50 runs in 10 overs and then...
Absolutely. I think I still remember talking to Manish in the middle. I was telling him that 200 runs will not be chased in 10 overs. We got to take it to a situation where it becomes much more possible than what it looks right now. I think if we can take the chase to last 5 overs, even 60 runs with wickets in hand, on a ground like Bangalore, it will be easier, because sometimes what happens is a young guy can come in and he starts thinking about 200 and he starts going berserk, which is not the way to go about things. Suddenly when you're chasing 200, you need to get it to a situation where you feel that okay, 30 balls, 55, 60 runs is far more possible than chasing 200 and 120 balls.
Right.
So I thought that we need to break it down, and we did it really well, because I still remember not at any point during that chase we got the run rate to more than 10 runs per over. We were always
at par
with it. So I think a lot of credit needs to go to the entire unit, especially to Manish. I think playing that kind of an innings in the final, chasing 200 runs, a lot of pressure, someone who's playing for his first final, I think a lot of credit needs to go to him.
Well, you talk about Manish having played that great knock. We've seen Robin Uthappa, how consistent he was. But is there a knock, or is there like one thing that stands out in your mind in this whole campaign?
Look, I think I'm always a strong believer that it doesn't matter how we start, it is all about how we finish. So my game changes. My people who've changed the tournament has always been and will always be people who've played in the middle order or lower middle order. Someone like a Shakib Al Hasan, Ryan Tendishkar, you might not see a lot of his contribution in this tournament, but someone like him scoring those important 10 balls, 20 runs. Someone like a Surya Kumar Yadav hitting that important 6 against Sunrisers. Someone like a Piyush, I think if he wouldn't have hit that 6, no one would have been talking to me as a champion. So I think our game changes have always been a middle order. There will always be a top 3 who will get more runs than your middle order, because they end up facing more balls than your middle order. But it is always being a middle order who will finish games. So for me, I think it is not important how you start, it is all about how you finish.
Gautam, we've passed 7 seasons. We've seen how KKR has performed in the last 7 seasons. Now, looking at the team, would you say that this is the most settled unit that KKR can go with over the next few years? Because this is the team which has gone through sea changes in 2 auctions.
No, I don't know. I think someone asked me during the tournament as well that do you think the team will get complacent after 4 or 5 games, and I said till the time I'm leading I can make sure that team doesn't get complacent, because I myself never get complacent. I'm not saying this is the best team we've got, but I can say that this is the most passionate and the most hungry team which we've got in the last 6-7 years. So I think guys are very hungry, guys really wants to do well, and they want to do well for KKR, which is very important as well. Not at any point I thought that anyone would have played for his own scores and own runs or own performances. So you need to have a hungry side, and I'm pretty much sure that since last 4 years I've taken on as a leader, I think this is the most hungry side. Hopefully we can continue the same way in coming years as well, but at the moment I think this is the most hungry and the most desperate.
Your passion surely rubs on to the team, but another person we've seen in the side who's not in the playing 11, Wasim Akram, who's one of your coaches. How has he contributed towards this change? We've heard Yusuf Pathan saying that he helped, Wasim Bhai helped Yusuf to read the psyche of the bowlers. So
it's good. It's good to have someone like him, because he's played so much of international cricket. He's been one of the greats as well. So it's always nice to share his experience when he shares his experiences with young bowlers, with young players, because he's gone through all of that. He's actually conquered all of that. I'm not saying he's gone through, he's conquered all of those challenges. So it's always nice when you have someone with his experience, sharing his experience, how he's conquered all those things. So it is always good to have someone like him, someone like, as Yusuf said, that Wasim Bhai helped him reading the psyche. I've seen some of the other bowlers who've learned a lot, someone like Umesh Yadav to do what in different situations, is like what to bowl in death, how to bowl up front with the new ball. Someone like Vinay Kumar learning the trick, someone for that matter Mane Mokal, who's himself so experienced, or Pat Cummins. So I think having a person like him is always good as a captain, because you know that he can take a lot out from your shoulder as well.
Gautam, earlier we used to hear that it is always going to be KKR's bowling versus the batting of an ex-team, but now can we say that it's KKR's all-round effort?
Never. I think I kept telling, I remember I kept telling this to Ravi Shastri, I kept telling this to all the commentators as well, that it is not about only KKR's bowling. I think you don't reach the final of the tournament just by doing well in one department. You need to play well in all the three departments. So I can't say that it has always been KKR's strong bowling, not been a strong batting. If you see, we've chased 180 in 15.3 overs. We chased 200. We were chasing throughout after losing against Rajasthan. So you can't say we made 190 against RCB as well in Calcutta. So it is not only about our bowling, it is always about our batting as well. Yeah, when we went into the auction, I was very much sure that we wanted to have a strong bowling attack so that it takes a lot of pressure off our batting. Because if you see, if you have a strong bowling department, you make 150, 160, you still give yourself a chance. By not having a strong bowling department, you're not sure that even if you make 200, you will be able to defend that. So that was our strategy when we went into the auction, that we need to have proper 5 bowlers so that we can have a good strong bowling department. But it is not only our bowling, our batting has done equally well as well.
Well, Gautam, we have seen you evolved as a captain, as an individual, and perhaps one of the memorable things that happened in the course of this IPL was your selection to Team India as well for the England tour. Do we see a very different Gautam Gambhir from the one we saw in 2011?
I'm not sure. I think what kind of a Gautam Gambhir would you see, but I can assure you this, that my hunger, my desperation, my determination is exactly the same what it was in 2011 or maybe 2008-9. So important thing is that the most important and the most difficult thing for any sportsman is to stay in the present. It was very difficult for me at that time to stay in the present, because I still remember I was playing a game against Kings 11, that eliminator, when the selection was supposed to happen. So I told Harsha this as well, that it is very difficult for a sportsman, but I tried staying in the present, because it would have been very easy for me to go into England thinking about England, but I've tried staying in the present. At the moment also, I'm trying to stay in the present because I've not started my preparations. Once I start my preparations, then I start thinking about England.
But how different are the two Gautam Gambhirs? Don't tell me that you are still what you were in 2011, because a lot has happened in your cricketing life.
Yeah, you get much more mature. You realize one thing for sure, that cricket is not life and death, because before that I realized that it was life and death for me. Everything was around cricket, but when you go through a phase like this, where you've been out for 17 months, you realize that life moves on. I think I've got many more things to look forward to as well. I've got a young daughter, I've got my wife, I've got my family who I have to look up to, and who I can look up to as well, who I can spend a lot of time with. So a lot of things have changed. Maybe it has changed for good. Somewhere like it makes me more relaxed when I walk off the field. Maybe when I finish my day on the cricket field, I have something to look forward to. So that might make
and
me
Gautam Gambhir smiles more.
Could be. I think, yeah, absolutely. That's important as well when I'm not playing cricket.
Also, coming off Azin, has that changed your perspective in some ways?
That's a difficult question to answer. That I don't know.
Becoming a father.
Yeah, it has changed me as a person off the field. But if you ask me on the field, I'm still as intense, as passionate, as hungry, because I love winning. I've always said in all my columns and all my interviews that I love winning. I believe in results. I don't believe in only performances and efforts. I believe in results, because results do matter a lot to me. Off the field, you can say that yes, I've got something to look forward to. She makes me relax. I get a lot of peace looking at her. So I think off the field I've become much more relaxed.
Well, talking a little more about the England tour, you must have researched what's happening out there. Of course, there's no Kevin Peterson. Does that, give some kind of an edge to the Indian side right away, the biggest match winner?
Look, individuals do not matter to me that much when two countries are playing, when two strong sides are playing. If you see that if they don't have Kevin Peterson, we don't have some big names as well from the last, or someone like Virender Sehwag, Sachin Tendulkar, Rahul Dravid. So it's going to be even Stevens. You can't compare two teams just by talking about one or two individuals. I think when India plays England, they're a quality side in their own backyard. So to beat them in their own backyard, we need to play well as a unit. We need to do all the three departments well, and I think we should be looking forward to doing that, rather than thinking that they've got no Kevin Peterson, no Jonathan Trott, so we've got an edge. To have an edge, you got to play good cricket, and the most important thing is that if we start off that tour well, especially the first test match, I think that we can take a lot of momentum going into the entire tour.
One thing that Wasim Akram has written in his column during the course of this IPL was that he was disappointed to see Umesh Yadav not feature in the Indian team, because he's probably in the height of the peak of his form and in the form of his life. Do you feel the same?
Look,
taking Umesh would have made difference.
So that is a selector's decision. They're still taking 6 fast bowlers. I think they might have thought something about it. But Umesh is going to Bangladesh. Hopefully he does well there. But what I can say that he's really bowling well, he's in good rhythm, which is very important, and hopefully he performs well and maybe try and get into the one-day side in England. I spoke to him after the selection. I told him that he should not be thinking too much about not being selected for England and stuff. He should start enjoying his cricket, which is more important. If he keeps performing, whether it's in Bangladesh, whether it's in IPL, whether it's domestic cricket, that will make him more happy rather than thinking about the selection and non-selection, because I've gone through those phases as well, so I can share my experiences with him. I know sometimes it's tough when you start seeing that there are already 6 fast bowlers who've been selected for the England tour and you don't get selected, but as I told him that he should only be concentrating on his performance and his bowling, and he's got a great head on his shoulders, so hopefully he can do that and try and perform in Bangladesh and then got into England.
Gautam, from the last time to this time, is there anything, any one particular thing or a couple of things that you're going to do differently in England? Have you thought about that?
No, as I said, I've not thought about the preparations. I think
Okay.
I still, once I start practicing, maybe it'll be a very specific practice, thinking how the conditions going to be in England and what I'm going to do and what my game plan will be against against the opposition and against certain bowlers, and that is what I'm going to do in the nets as well. Your preparation for the tour starts in the nets. It is not that once you reach there you start preparing for the tour. Once you start hitting the ball in the nets, that's when you start preparing yourself for England as well. Once I start doing that, maybe I can answer this question much better.
My final question, Gautam, are you a superstitious cricketer? Because we have seen you not removing the pads till the last ball is bowled, perhaps.
Yes, that was a superstition in 2012. I've removed my pads in 2014. There has been times when I thought that I've played a little bit. I think I've played till 7-8 overs. There's no point going into the dressing room and then coming back, because a lot of decisions are still need to be made in the dugout. So that is the reason why I've stayed in the dugout, and maybe there has been time when we've promoted Shakib Ul Hasan or we've promoted someone else. So that was the only reason.
And you changed your jersey number also midway.
Yeah, that was, I think that I was forced to do by, first Umesh told me to change my jersey number from 5 to 77. He told me that please do that. I changed it to 77. Then Robin told me that you should change it to 23. So just to make them happy, just to make the entire team happy, I changed it. Otherwise there was no such superstition that I wanted to change my jersey number, because I've always won number 5 and I wanted to continue that just to make everyone happy. I did that.
Thank you very much, Gautam, and keep shining.
Thank you.